out here. We are on Keim Street, South Keim Street, Pottstown, Pennsylvania, at Riverside Drive, and behind us is Route 422. If you go to my left, you're going west towards Reading. You go to my right, you're going towards Philadelphia. We're here today to check out the old Keim Street Bridge. This bridge was in operation since 1935, closed down 14 years ago, and has sat basically abandoned. There is a plan in the works to get this bridge back and passable again, and it's supposed to be this year. It doesn't look like that's happening. We're going to take a look at what's down here. It crosses over the Schuylkill River, and there's a lot of nature. The Schuylkill River Trail is on the other side of the bridge, goes along Industrial Boulevard. All of Pottstown's industry, or a very vast majority of it, was on the other side of this bridge, and that connected that industry to this highway, as well as 724 up there, and on to different areas in order to distribute the steel goods and whatever else was made here. So we're just going to take a little look at a bridge that, for all intents and purposes, is abandoned. So we are on South Keim Street, as I said. It's October 26th. It's about 60 degrees. I come back after 2 weeks of being down south, and already the colors have turned on the leaves on the trees. There are no signs here that say no parking or anything like that. So we park right here on what used to be the street. And now it's time to take a look at what's down here. I mean, there's nature, there's man-made items, all that kind of stuff. So we're just going to take a look. I remember many years ago I took Lumberjack Jr. down here, and there was cobwebs all over the bridge, and it was kind of surreal and neat looking. But I used to drive over this bridge all the time. This was a main way to get to 422, 724. I could just come right through the center of Pottstown and get to where I needed to go. Cardinal right there that just came out. And there it is, not being used. Always had these little walkways on it for people to walk across, obviously. This bridge has been around since, like I said, 1935. Withstood Hurricane Agnes, if I'm not mistaken. However, the sister bridge, the Hanover Street Bridge, succumbed to the storm, and they built the existing one that's there now. As you can see, a lot of disrepair. This is why they stopped using this bridge, but it is vital. There's only a few ways really to get south of the Pottstown. And what a glorious view of the Schuylkill River. I mean, besides the cables going across. Maybe at some point we'll take a shot at getting down there and getting a view down there. Just a short little look at something that at one point spanned the Schuylkill River to be able to transport goods and services and people to wherever they needed to go. And now it just sits here. They do have plans for it though, so we're hoping that that comes to fruition. From what I read, it's about 85% federally funded. I think there's some county money in there, borough money. I forget what the cost was, millions of dollars. Millions and millions of dollars. It would be nice if they kept this kind of shape to it, because I love these old iron bridges. Of course, Mrs. Lumberjack is here with me. So glad to be back with her. And there's the view. Let's say you were coming from the steel mill, and out to 422, 724. That's your view coming across the bridge.
Well, I feel like if you get too close to the edge, it's trouble.
Yeah.
It's a little,
Disconcerting.
we shouldn't be up here.
Kind of surreal just to walk across the road, especially a road that you've walked across many times, or drove across many times. Old light standard still up. It is rather narrow. I do remember that now that I'm looking at it, how narrow it was to drive this. You know, if you had tractor trailer coming, you kind of really had to get over to the side. Nature's overgrowing, taking control of this area again. Some grasses and whatnot, you know, things get deposited up here, especially if there's high enough flooding. Not really a lot of trash. I expected it to be more like just filled with trash, but it's not. And here's another part of the Schuylkill River. There's an island in the center here. Over that way was the first part of it was saw, and then this island. And look at all this. I mean, it's just dense in there. But it looks like there's like an under area, like that you could get under the canopy and move around in there. To my knowledge, there's no way down to this island. At least from this bridge. Obviously, if you had a rope or whatever and really wanted to scale it, you could. And then we come to another portion of it. Oh, somebody's got their chair down there. Guess we're doing some fishing a long time ago. I'm not sure. This is looking west at the Schuylkill River. Going towards Reading in that area. Birdsboro, of course, before Reading. The Schuylkill is not a very deep river. A lot of it's, I mean, you can walk almost completely across. You might get to parts where it's up to your chest, but a lot of it is very shallow. And this side flows down to, like, say, Phoenixville, and then obviously on to Philadelphia. I don't actually know the length of it from one end to the other, but it is quite extensive. This is not some short little bridge. I mean, you can see there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these, I guess you would call arches that run along here. And they're probably at least, I would say, 40 foot, 50 foot long themselves. So let's just say 8 times 50, that's over, it's definitely over 200 foot, I would surmise. I have actually canoed this many years ago with my brother, my father, and a good friend of ours. And we went from Hanover Street all the way past here and down to, I guess you call it, yeah, Linfield. Not a very long video, but it's something I've been wanting to do, is come out and check this out, and this ought to be known about this bridge here that really, it makes it a little more difficult to get around without having it up and going. You can imagine how neat it was to just have this view as you went across this bridge, and it's a shame not to have it. Just glad kind of spotlighted a little bit, and there is hope though. There are plans in the works, so I don't want to be all negative. There are plans in the works for this bridge to be refurbished and open up, and hopefully help the area out again as far as getting traffic through here. When you look up further, you'll see 422, where we were earlier at the beginning of the video, and there's only an on-ramp and an off-ramp for 422, and it's on the west side of that bridge straight ahead. So if you're coming from the east, you can't get up here. That would be nice if they did something there. If you're let's say coming from you want to go east, you can't go east from here. You can only go west or come from the west and get off onto this street. That was always one of the things I wondered about, why they just had those two. I imagine it may have something to do with property, or how difficult it might have been to do that. I wonder if there's anything that is actually important inside of these casements here anymore, whether that does actually have electricity or whatever. Telephone, excuse me, going across. There is a rather fairly large community of homeless people that live near the river here in Pottstown, and so you do want to be careful around here, just in case. Never had any issues. We didn't have any issues today. There was one at the other end of the bridge there, and we just kind of walked around but left them alone, didn't go near them or anything like that, because they have enough troubles than to have us snooping around trying to get in their business. Obviously, if somebody wanted to tell a story, I would have gotten it on, but I'm not going to go up and, hey, you want to talk to me? I just rather stay out of their face. They got enough going on in life. Down here we got ourselves a little landing. Thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate you sticking around, and we'll see you next time on Lumberjack in the Woods. Or on a bridge.